Welcome to Top 10. Today we're diving deep into the top 10 most shocking movie facts that will blow your mind. Get ready to learn some jaw-dropping behind-the-scenes secrets, forgotten stories, and mind-boggling details about the films you thought you knew inside and out. These facts will change the way you see some of your favorite movies forever. Let's kick things off with one of the most iconic movies in cinematic history, The Wizard of Oz. You probably remember the famous ruby slippers, right? Well, here's the thing. In the original book by L. Frank Baum, Dorothy's slippers were actually silver. When the movie adaptation was in the works, the filmmakers decided to change the slippers to ruby red, not just for visual appeal, but because they wanted to fully utilize the new Technicolor film process. The vibrant color of the slippers helped the movie pop off the screen in a way silver never could. It was one of the first major color moments in cinema history. Now, let's move to one of the most innovative films in the history of cinema, Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece changed the game when it comes to storytelling. You've probably noticed that the movie doesn't follow a traditional chronological order, and that's no accident. The storylines are purposely out of sequence, which creates a puzzle that the audience must piece together as the film progresses. This non-linear storytelling technique was bold and groundbreaking at the time, and it completely reshaped how filmmakers could approach narrative structure. And speaking of groundbreaking, let's talk about the making of The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker is iconic, and one of the most memorable scenes is when the Joker performs his famous pencil trick. But here's a shocking fact. The pencil trick was actually done for real. The filmmakers used a retractable pencil to make it appear as though the Joker was stabbing someone in the eye. But the way Ledger sold the performance, combined with his intense commitment to the character, made the scene look even more brutal than it actually was. It was so convincing that many people believed it was a special effect. Now, let's get into Jaws, one of the most terrifying films ever made. But did you know that the terrifying shark in the film was constantly malfunctioning? That's right. The mechanical shark, nicknamed Bruce, had serious technical issues throughout the filming process. As a result, Steven Spielberg was forced to film the shark in shadow and keep it out of sight for much of the movie. This actually worked in the film's favor, though, because the absence of the shark increased the suspense and tension, making the few moments we do see the shark all the more terrifying. The less we see, the scarier it becomes. Let's move on to Star Wars. We all know that Darth Vader is one of the most iconic villains in cinema. But did you know that the voice behind that deep, menacing tone was actually James Earl Jones? However, what many people don't know is that the actor who physically portrayed Vader, David Prowse, never knew that his voice would be replaced. When he saw the final cut of the film, he was shocked to hear Jones' iconic voice instead of his own. In fact, Prowse was kept completely in the dark about this decision, and it wasn't until the film's release that he discovered it. Switching gears to another legendary film, The Godfather. Did you know that Marlon Brando, who gave us one of the greatest performances in film history, didn't actually memorize his lines? Instead, he used cue cards during filming. Brando famously didn't want to over-rehearse and preferred the spontaneity of his performance, so cue cards were placed all around the set to help him with the lines. It's hard to believe, especially considering how powerful and natural his performance is, but that's the magic of Brando's acting. Now let's talk about one of the most chilling films of all time, The Shining. Everyone knows that Stanley Kubrick was a perfectionist. But did you know that he had Shelley Duvall perform the iconic "Here's Johnny" scene a staggering 127 times? Kubrick's obsession with getting the perfect shot caused Duvall significant emotional and physical distress. In fact, her hair even started falling out due to the immense stress, which makes her portrayal of Wendy even more incredible. While Kubrick's relentless pursuit of perfection created a masterpiece, it also came at a heavy cost to his cast. Let's not forget Titanic, a movie that swept the world off its feet. But did you know that one of the most iconic parts of the movie, the Grand Staircase, wasn't even the original from the real Titanic? The filmmakers recreated it to the exact specifications in a studio, ensuring the historical accuracy of the set. It's almost impossible to tell the difference between the recreated set and the actual ship. But it's a mind-blowing fact when you realize how much effort went into getting it just right. Moving on to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is filled with incredible behind-the-scenes moments. Here's a fun fact. The hobbits in the film are supposed to be much smaller than the average human, so the filmmakers had to use a clever trick to make the actors look shorter. Elijah Wood, who played Frodo, actually wore prosthetic feet for the entire duration of filming. But here's the kicker. He wore those prosthetics even when he was sitting down. Talk about dedication to the role. Finally, let's talk about Back to the Future. The DeLorean time machine is one of the most iconic vehicles in film history. But did you know that the iconic flux capacitor was actually just a light bulb? The filmmakers didn't know exactly what the time machine should look like, so they simply used a flashing light bulb to create the effect. The simple trick ended up being so effective that it became an instantly recognizable symbol in pop culture. These shocking facts are just a glimpse behind the curtain of the movies we all know and love. From unexpected performances to mind-blowing secrets, the world of cinema is full of stories that will change the way you view your favorite films. Have any of these facts left you speechless? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another jaw-dropping episode from Top 10. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.